Managing a small team or business comes with a unique set of challenges. With limited resources and manpower, it's easy for things to feel chaotic and out of your control. How can you, as a leader, accomplish your goals while keeping your team engaged, effective, and accountable? This podcast will give you practical strategies you can implement now to lead your team or business to reach its fullest potential. Welcome to the Organizing Chaos podcast with your host, Danny Coleman.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Organizing Chaos, where we find small practical strategies for small teams and small businesses. So I want to talk today about the issue that happens when leaders don't stay in their lanes. So when you're a leader, right, when you're an owner of a small business or you manage a small team, you really do have ultimate authority for this group of people. You control the whole thing from A to Z. And also you're responsible for the outcomes that these people produce. And so it can be difficult to avoid getting out of, or it can be difficult to avoid stepping out of your lane and into their lane, right? So something that you've asked someone to do, or for instance, like you've asked Joe to bake a cake, and he's not doing it right, or he's moving too slow, or something like that. And so the tendency is, rather than to coach and develop this person, which is harder and takes more time, but has better long-term benefits, instead of doing that, the tendency is to kind of get in there and start tinkering and messing with things, and kind of putting your stamp on whatever it is they're working on. And so I want to talk today about the danger of what happens there when that happens. So first of all, the first thing is that there's no accountability. You cannot have accountability for the outcome of Joe's cake bake when you've asked him to do it. If you've said, Joe, I need the cake to have this type of icing, it needs to be moist, and I need it in 24 hours. If you're going in there and messing with him during the process, and so that the recipe is now not Joe's recipe or Joe's way to make a cake, but now it's Joe/Danny's way to make a cake, or just Danny's way. Joe just kind of did the things that Danny said. Joe just did the things Danny said. Then I can't tell Joe, this cake is not moist. Why isn't it moist? I can't, there's nothing I can really hold him accountable to, because I'm the one that messed with his process. So how can I hold him responsible to results that aren't really his? Like I said, it's just like me going in there and dumping something into his recipe while he's making it, and then at the end being like, hey, why doesn't this taste right? Well, it could be what I did. Now, of course, if I'm the owner, you can see the difficulty that this creates in the dynamic. He's not going to be honest with me, because he's not going to be like, well, yeah, Danny, you dumped some salt in there. And I'm like, well, salt's how you do it. Well, maybe not in the way that he's found, right? So now we have this issue where we can't agree on the process, we can't agree on the outcome, we can't agree on holding anybody accountable. There's just this friction and this ugliness there, and it really just is unhealthy for a team. So that's the first thing that goes, is accountability. The second thing is that you bottleneck your company's progress and the progress of your employee developing. So when I go in there and I'm messing with him, or I'm telling him that he's not doing it right, or I'm hovering over his shoulder and I'm telling him to go look at this, go read up on this and then come back to me, because I want him to come back with my conclusions or something like that. I bottleneck his progress, right? What would help for him to grow is if I say, Joe, I need you to bake me a cake. Here's the 3 things that I need for it to, it needs to have this type of icing, it needs to be moist, it needs to be done this soon. And then I let him fill in the gaps on should it be 1 layer or 2? Like, those things might not be important to me. And so that allows him to kind of go out and make his own thing. It meets my specifications, but he's grown as a person because he's gone out there, he's found the information, he's taken that information, he's turned it into his process, and then he's now created his result. He's got ownership through and through, and he learned because he went out there and tried some things out. And learn some things from other people. So when I mess with that process, when I don't let him go out there and own it from end to end, then I bottleneck his progress, and again, ultimately the progress of my business. Because a small business owner, every small business owner knows this, and small team managers, they face the same thing too. If you control too much of your business, you are the bottleneck, right? So things will never scale faster than you can allow them to scale, or people will never grow as people and individuals and become better at operating on their own the more that you baby them, or you spoon feed them, or you hand them the answers. So that's the second thing. Then the last thing to go is trust. Trust is obliterated when you do this sort of thing, because Joe's like, okay, great, man, Danny asked me to bake a cake and he gave me a list of what I need to have with the specifications about this cake. And so now I can go out and figure out how to do this on my own without him watching over my shoulder and without him babysitting me and whatnot. And I'm gonna make the best cake Danny's ever seen. And he's gonna he's gonna taste this cake and he's gonna be like, man, Joe makes the best cakes, you know. And I'll be able to be the new cake baker. Maybe that can be my role. I love baking cakes. You see where it can go. Yeah, I mean, this baking cake thing is obviously an example, but I think you get what I'm saying. So it's that trust that you create when you allow someone to go forth and accomplish an objective that you've given them. Now, when you mess with them, right? When you come in there and you kind of watch them over your shoulder, or you kind of like, no, I think you need to do it this way. Yeah, you're doing it wrong. And you're kind of messing with them like that. Then that's when you get broken trust, and they're like, well, they don't even trust me to bake a cake. And so it ends up just being Joe just ends up executing all of Danny's instructions, because Danny's baked cakes before, and here's how I baked a cake. So Joe, you need to bake a cake just like how I baked a cake before, because that's the only way to bake a cake. See what I'm saying? So this is what happens. So I don't want to go off for this for too long, but I can tell you that I've seen this happen over and over, both in businesses that I've been a part of and businesses that I've consulted with. And one of the biggest things, especially for small businesses, is that I love small business, how it can change so quickly, how you can affect change quickly, right? You see something going wrong and you can fix it sooner rather than later, right? Especially when you compare it to big corporate businesses where everything takes forever, there's politics and yada, yada, yada. So that is appealing. And it's appealing to small business owners too. And so that's sometimes why they don't want to grow to a certain size, and that's fine. But when you have a small business owner who likes to kind of get in everyone's business and mess with them and they don't stay in their lane, and instead they're kind of always poking their fingers in everybody else's cakes, well, then you can see how, you know, this just keeps the business from growing altogether, and it can create a lot of drama and a lot of baggage and whatnot. So all that to say, the things that you can do to grow your business, rather than going around and touching everything and feeling like you need to oversee everything and watch how everyone does everything in the business, is instead trust them. You will then release the bottleneck that has been throttling your business, and you will increase accountability. You'll be able to actually hold people accountable to their results because they're their results. You know, I can't hold people accountable to results that they got because they followed my directions. How can I be mad at them? The worst thing I can do is say like, well, you didn't follow my directions exactly, but then it's a battle of he said versus she said, you know, and who knows, maybe they did follow my instructions directly and my instructions are just bad, or maybe I didn't do a good job doing instructions. So there's a lot that can be talked about like off this topic, but the thing I wanted to just focus on today was you may enjoy doing all the different various aspects of your business. You may get a lot of fulfillment out of that, but you need to ask your team, how do they feel about that? How do they feel about you getting involved in everything? And if you're the owner, it's going to be hard to get honesty, because people are not going to be like, yeah, I really don't like it when you kind of, you know, micromanage me or watch me over my back. People have a hard time telling an owner to kind of buzz off because it's their business, right? But you can see, if as an owner, if you don't restrain yourself, you're going to end up finding yourself, you're going to tick off bad employees, you're going to make people feel like you don't trust them, and you're going to have a really difficult time enforcing accountability. And again, you're going to be bottlenecking your business. So anyways, hopefully this resonated with you in some way or another. Let me know if you're watching this on YouTube. Let me know in the comment section, or email me, danny@dannycoleman.me. Does this resonate with you? You know, what are the issues that you see? Or I guess, how is this hard for you to let go? How's it hard for you to let go of these certain things? Or how is it hard for you to kind of turn that switch off of wanting to kind of fly around and see what everybody's doing and kind of get up in someone's business for a little bit and then leave them alone for a while, and then you go find somebody else to bug and whatnot? It happens, and it's not something to be ashamed of. It's so common. So what do you do to prevent that, or how has it been difficult for you to stop exhibiting this type of behavior? So if you feel like this resonated with you, also, let somebody else know about it. Share, that really helps me on YouTube. Subscribe if you're able to. Leave me a review, shoot me an email. It was good talking to you guys. Hope that you're doing well. Have a great day. Thanks.
Want more? Go to DannyColeman.me to download Danny's free small business hiring guide, which includes tips, templates, and tools, plus a step-by-step process you can use to find and keep high-quality employees for your small team or business.